Hey there, Iron Man and Marvel Legends fans. This is Ultron. Today we're going to be taking a look at Hasbro's Iron Man 3 Marvel Legends Series 2 Ultron action figure. The interesting thing about this figure is that it's the only one in this series that is based on a comic book look as opposed to the movie designs. Obviously because Ultron hasn't been in the movies yet, but it's a pretty cool action figure. I dig it quite a bit. The base of this figure is the previous released Titanium Man, if I remember right, action figure. I didn't have this mold in this scale before, but I did have the 3 3/4 mold, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. I thought it was really cool, and I thought it was a neat way for them to repurpose it for Ultron. I know there's people who disagree with that, and people who dislike this design that they went with, but for me, I think it's actually pretty decent. I'm into it, like I really am. So, as far as details, get his legs pulled back here. First, take a look at that head. This is kind of a more classic Ultron look. Definitely not the Jesse Falcon dog-headed look that was originally like resculpted back in the day. So very cool. I dig it. Nice little buttons here on the top. They didn't do the the Kirby bubbles or whatever you want to call them inside the mouth. The energy design, which I think could have been cool. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who decide to repaint that themselves. But really, it looks like the red on the figure is the only real paint work I can see top to bottom. And I could be wrong about like this midsection here. You can see that's a little bit of a different color, and this looks like silvery. So it could be the parts that they really intended to be silver, or maybe this is airbrushed. Maybe that's what it is. This has almost like a blue or metallic look to it. And you can see it in certain spots. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there's some airbrushing here, it looks like maybe. It's very like subtle, so it doesn't really jump out at you. But it does add a little bit of a change to the silver look. This is like the kind of swirly silver plastic that you used to get a lot back in the day. Which is still cool. I think it actually does the job pretty well. But it would have been kind of neat if they did some of the panel lining, because there are so many like banded armor pieces here. It would have been neat to see some kind of paint down in there, but still pretty cool overall. Kind of a Colossus-y type of vibe, like I said, with the banded armor. I really dig the spinal column back here. I don't know if this is the exact same piece for the that they had previously used on Titanium Man, but this is a really cool spinal column where it's like ridged and almost looks like the gears and clockwork or something. Very cool. I like that a lot. The legs also feature the banded armor and have these large buckles on the sides. For some reason, they didn't paint any red dots on here or here, so it makes it kind of sort of top-heavy with color. Like there's a lot of red up here in this area, but it doesn't go throughout the figure. And some people might like that, and some people might not. Ultron doesn't like typically have lots of red or green or whatever color they decide to paint him that comic book like all over his body. But it's interesting that they didn't drag it down, since they did decide to paint it on the shoulder pads. So still very cool, nice job. The bottoms are detailed, not painted, and have no peg holes. So that's interesting. I wonder why they decided to go that route. I guess just because it's an older mold. But very cool. Nice details on the hands. Some nice... it's going to try not to focus because it's sort of blurry plastic, but you can see they did some nice striations there, and then some big knuckles, I guess. So pretty cool. They did a nice job, I think, on the details. And like I said, I may be in the minority, but I think it actually looks pretty cool for Ultron. Articulation-wise, we've got I believe there might be a ball in there, but it's very tight, so I'll just say it's a swivel hinge. So we get the 360 around, and then we get, which can get caught on his shoulder pads, down, I hold it straight, down very far, up very far, which is really nice. So if you wanted to have him flying or something, or just even like I had at the beginning where he's just sort of hunched over, you can still get that forward-looking face, which is really cool. The shoulder pads are on their own hinges, so they move up just like that to get out of the way of the arms, which is really cool. And if you were really wanting to, I guess you could make that some kind of weird count collar and put a cape back there if you really liked, but yeah, it's designed just to be out of the way of the arms, which is cool. The arms and the shoulders have swivel hinges, so they will get blocked a little bit by the shoulder pads, but they do have perfectly free range of motion in terms of the design. They're not hindered at all here. So swivels in the biceps, double hinge elbows. I think get a little bit caught up because of the banded armor on the elbow. You see how it kind of bumps up there? So it's not going to go perfectly at all. It's really only getting, because they didn't cut, see they have this top joint here where it's got the peg here, but they didn't cut high enough into this front biceps muscle, so it doesn't really do much. It just goes from there to there, and then the bottom joint is the one that gets all the action. So that's unfortunate, because you really only get about 90 degrees even with a double hinge, so like why even bother? Swivel hinges in the wrists all the way around, in and out, very nice. We've got a ab crunch here that goes not too far back, but that's not a huge deal for me because he's got great forward motion. I really, really dig the forward motion. Very nice there. Put his shoulder pads down. Swivel in the waist goes all the way around, of course. We've got swivel hinge, swivel hips, which are the older style, so they do go in at more of a 45-degree angle than the 90. Well, I guess if you're more than 45. What is that? Like 135, something like that. That's quick math. I don't know if that's right. But they go out to the side, and then you do the rotation then. So they're a little harder to work with, but they are nice and tight. So if you do have the time to work with them, they will hold your poses perfectly well. And then a nice swivel rotation there in the upper thigh. Double hinge knees. First point will get you almost 90 degrees. Second point, again, you've got the banded armor that's going to block it. So you see that's not going to go any further than that. You might be able to work it a little bit to get a little more range of motion, but not much. It's pretty much always going to butt up against it. And then we've got swivel hinges in the ankles, which go all the way around, down quite a bit, and forward a decent amount. I did like the ankle style on the smaller titanium man, so I'm glad they were able to translate it over pretty well. Now, this guy I also got from Impulse Creations, and he was a little bit more expensive than the others. He was $16.49 as opposed to $15.99, so 50 cents more expensive, not much, but definitely out of the three, in terms of like quality and design and paintwork and everything, he's probably the weakest. But he is really cool because he's an Ultron action figure. They haven't done a whole lot of Ultrons over the years. Just here and there, so it's kind of cool to have a new Marvel Legends Ultron that is in scale with your other modern Hasbro MLs. So not absolutely huge, which is cool, but taller than the average buck. Get War Machine in here real quick, just so you can see a comparison shot there. War Machine is just a hair taller, shorter than Ultron there, so pretty cool. Yeah, for $16.49. All you get is the action figure, no accessories, and Ironmonger's head for the Build-A-Figure. So, like I said in the other reviews, if you want to finish Ironmonger, you have to get this guy, or you have to go searching on eBay for the part. But he is a pretty cool figure. If you're disappointed in the paint job, it would be relatively easy to spice him up a little bit with some ink washes or just some panel lining of some type. Or even if you want to get really fancy, get in there inside and do some work on the mouth, which would be really cool. But as he is, he's still a pretty cool figure. Weird articulation in certain spots, but it's mostly just because of the design of the armor, so not much you can do about that. Overall, I would say if you can get this guy for 15, 16 bucks, he's still a pretty good addition to the collection. Pretty solid action figure. So that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to disagree about Ultron because a lot of people are really picky about Ultron's looks, and that's cool. If you have a different look that you prefer more, just throw it down in the box below and get a dialogue going about it. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. As far as the Build-A-Figure piece for Ironmonger, I'll do that in the next review when I do the Ironmonger review and let you see all the pieces all put together and see how he fits in size-wise with this guy. So thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's a pretty quick review. Well, it seems quick to me. I don't know. Maybe it's not so quick to you. But I appreciate you stopping by. If you have any questions or comments, throw them in the box below. I'll be glad to answer them. And that's it. I'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks. Bye.